Hello and welcome back. I am Joni, Joan Turner from Joan's Art Gallery / Haverhill on Facebook. You can find me there. And I am the resident artist at DCOA, which is the Drake Council on Aging. And we have been doing a number of tutorials for folks that are still kind of at home in this pandemic era of 2020. 2021 now. Okay. So we have been doing a number of things, and I just want to take a moment to just thank Bethany Lovelace. She's the director at the Drake Council on Aging, and it was her idea to go ahead and do these tutorials. And they're made possible in part by the Drake Council on Aging, the Drake Cultural Council, and Friends of the Drake Elderly. So thank you, all of you, for making all of this possible for people. Again, they really care about people, and they make them absolutely available and free to everyone and anyone. So, and they also even offer like art packs, which contain rocks. Today we're doing a rock, so you should have a rock in your pack. A standard set of primary set of paints, some brushes, canvases, you name it. Okay, so even those are available. They give out a certain amount, so call early, certainly. And like I said, they're absolutely free to everyone. So, absolutely, if you are financially able and so inclined and would like to make a donation, you can make a donation by check or get on their website. It's DCOA, which is Drake Council on Aging. You could put it care of Bethany Lovelace, and the address there is 951 Mammoth Road, Drake, Mass. And I'm not sure the zip code, but if you're so inclined and you want to make a donation, there's some really good folks there doing a whole bunch of good stuff. So, and like I said, they share them with absolutely everyone. Good people. Okay, so without further ado, today on a rock, we're doing this angel. And I call it angel in my pocket because we're going to put them on relatively small stones. Okay, and I actually brought a bunch of stones to the Drake Council on Aging so that they could hand them out with this particular group of tutorials. So they're different sizes, certainly, but I tried to keep them on the small side so that you or someone else could actually put them in your briefcase, put them in your purse, carry them in your pocket, okay? And in my other business interest, which is the intuitive body and soul, we do a lot of energy work there. So we say energy goes out through the right side of your body, comes in through the left side. So you can just ask God, the universe, wherever you think your source of power comes from, to just you just ask God. In this case, I'm going to say God, to energize this piece that's made with love and caring, and whoever has it, to give them whatever they need in life to keep them happy, healthy, and wealthy. So we call it energizing the stone. Okay. So whether you're keeping it for yourself or you're giving it to someone else, put some good energy on it. Okay. So again, they're not all the same size and they're certainly not uniform, but that's okay. Okay. Unique is good. Unique is good. Okay, so as usual, let's go through the list. We need palettes. I'm always just kind of using paper plates because we want to use stuff that's readily available for people. So we're using a paper plate to put the colors on. Okay, and your rocks should you should have put pre-painted two coats of white on your rock. Okay, so if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and do it. And you could dry it under a fan. You could use a hair dryer. Acrylic paints don't take too long to dry, okay? And that's what we use, acrylic paints. So you need a rock, okay? You need your palette. And brushes, I'm going to say, a small brush, in your paint set, you have some brushes. Or if you have your own art supplies, get a kind of small brush. And with the small brush, we're going to apply some paint and we're going to put some colors on there. I also grabbed some uh, cotton swabs. And on this picture, okay, as the colors are kind of swirling down here, there's not a sharp line of demarcation there. Those edges are kind of blended together. So I'm going to use a Q-tip to do that. I'm just going to kind of blend the edges together. So that'll be a fun experiment. So let's try that. Okay. You will need the smallest brush you have for details, because on this little angel, she does have eyes and she has some strands of hair, her eyes are closed. Okay, and we'll do a little bit of outlining like around her sleeves and stuff. Okay, so a small detail brush. All right, so those two brushes, a pencil, all right, because after we put the basic color on here, we're going to give ourselves some guidelines, like a circle for the head and the body. Okay, so we're going to need that. Now, always we need lots of paper towels. We need water bowls. Okay, don't put water in drinking cups, because when you're focused on what you're doing, sometimes you might go ahead and try to pick up the cup and drink your paint water. And I am speaking from experience, my dears. Okay, so colors, as I look at colors in here, all right, very first color then I'm seeing is this kind of red. So I have some red out, and then we go to kind of a pink color. Now, if you don't have pink in your basic uh, pack, you obviously red and white makes pink. All right, so you do have red and you do have white. Okay, and then we're going to orange, and then we're going to yellow. All right, and there is some purple in here as well. Okay, so in your primary packs, you may not have purple, but blue and red are primary colors, and if you mix those together, you do get purple. Okay, so you will have everything you need. And again, yours and mine should not look exactly the same. If you're doing this with family members, which I think that's cool that people are doing that, that's awesome, or friends, okay, it's nicer actually if they don't look exactly the same. It's nice to have them uniquely yours. Okay, now our little angel has brown hair. You could give her blonde hair, but I think I'm gonna stay with the brown because there's yellow behind her, in the rainbow behind her. I'm just afraid if I give her kind of blonde or yellow hair, it will blend in too much with the background. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it brown. So you need some brown. If in fact you do not have brown, green and red make brown. And then of course black, and you will need some white. Okay, all right. So I think I covered it all. We need paint, brushes, water. Oh, I know what I forgot. Hot cocoa. Gotta have hot cocoa. Ooh, ooh, mm. It's really hot because I just made it. Okay, so it's really hot. Okay, the other thing, I have paint clothes on, which means, if I get paint on them, it's probably not a big deal. Acrylic paints, once they dry, are permanent. You can't even bleach them out. Okay, so if you're using a good surface, cover it with a covering you don't mind if paint gets on. The most common thing people use are like tablecloths from the dollar store, plastic tablecloths. You can put them on the floor underneath you. Anything you really want to try and protect, go ahead and do that. Okay, so without further ado, oh, wait. Okay. Just want to show you what our last tutorial was. Last tutorial was this mandala, okay? So let me show it to you. This is it. This is the mandala that we did. So look for the other tutorials in this winter set of tutorials. This was so much fun to do. And as a matter of fact, I am so happy at it that I'm thinking of putting a frame around it and giving it to someone as a gift. Okay? So, or if you're so inclined, keep them yourself, give them to a family member. Okay? Pass them down. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. And I am going to try to arrange the camera so that you can see my hands, see what I'm actually doing as I'm doing. So that being the case, let's move this back a little bit and down here and then move this way. That could work. That could work, kids. Okay. All right. So let's have some hot cocoa and let's get this show on the road. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, hot cocoa makes it all worthwhile. Okay, so again, all right, you should have pre-painted 2 coats of white on your rock. Okay, and this rock is not totally smooth. It has a few little divots and whatnot in it. So painting them helps fill that in a little bit too. Plus, we're going to put colors over it. So um, if the white kind of serves as a primer. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is look at my picture, all right, and I'm going to put my colors out on my palette. Now you can see my art table has a lot of paint on it. Again, if you're working on a surface and you don't want it to get ruined, cover it. Okay, this art table is covered in paint, so not an issue. Okay, so if you should have this in your kit. If you do not, take just very quickly take a quick picture of this. You can do it with your cell phone. You might be able to actually stop the recording and just grab a picture with your cell phone that you can look at. Okay, so I'm looking at these colors here, and those are the colors that I'm going to put out on my palette. And I don't want to have to put out each color because I want to blend it and I don't want the colors to totally dry before I go to the next one. So I'm going to look at the very first one. And as I said, it's a red. So I am, and the rock is not totally, it's not a huge rock. So I'm not going to put out a whole bunch. I'm going to put out a little bunch. And this way, we're not going to waste a lot of paint. Okay, pink. If you do not have pink, mix some red and white. And this pink may, I don't know if it's a little pinker than I want. I may have to mix some white myself. Then we're going to purple. If you do not have purple, red and blue makes purple. And I'll tell you, mixing your own colors is not only is it educational and gives you insight into the colors, you can get the exact shade that you want. So if you're just starting out, maybe that's not so much of an issue. But if you keep going with these projects and do projects on your own, mixing your own colors becomes an important tool. Okay, so after the purple, I have some orange. Okay, so I'm going to put orange out here. And you can see I'm not putting mounds and mounds of paint here. If I were mixing my paint, I might put a little bit more out so I don't run out, but I'm kind of using them right from the containers. Um, these are, I call them student grade, I guess. Um, they have heavy body acrylics, which is very dense. It's very heavy. It's very thick. So you control the thickness by adding water, or you can add medium to it. Okay. So now I have my colors out. Okay. So I have my red. I have my pink. I have my purple, orange, yellow. Okay, so it's all kind of sitting out here. So I don't have to stop in the middle and just kind of figure things out. So it started from the top, and when it got to the yellow, even though I can't see it really good, started all over again. So it depends on how much room you have on your rock. Okay, so let us begin. I'm going to have some Q-tips nearby. Okay, now these Q-tips, I have 5 colors out here. I'm going to do a Q-tip for each color, okay? Because I don't want to have the colors merge. I want them to just merge at the where one color changes into another. Okay, so your rock, all right, how do you know which side is up? I get asked that question all the time. Okay, so which side is up is which way it sits the best. And this is the most stable side for this particular rock. Okay, so I am going to start with the red, okay, just a little bit of red on my brush, and I'm going to now put it over the top here of my rock. Okay, and I'm actually gonna kind of put it through to the other side here. You're gonna cover the whole top. Now I know you're seeing it upside down. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. All right, and I'm going to go right to the pink. Now I'm not cleaning my brush off, okay, because I'm going to try to blend it a bit with my brush. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put out the white because I'm thinking some white on this pink would work really well, okay? So you can't really see the pink from the white. But before it totally dries, grab a Q-tip, okay, and just where it meets, just tap it a little bit because we just want to mix that in, okay? And I might even use my fingers a little bit. And then I always wonder why I am such a mess afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some white because my pink is such a nice, beautiful kind of vivid color that you almost can't tell the difference between it and the red. Okay, so this white is actually in a container that's you're supposed to be able to squirt it out of here, but paint is dried inside of it. So you have to take the cover off. It's okay, I can handle it. Okay, so I'm going to grab some of my paper towels and I'm going to take my brush and clean off excess paint. Right, so I have a little bit of white here. I'm going to add a little bit of the pink to it, right? Because I'm thinking I just want a little bit lighter pink than what is on my rock, on my stone. Okay, so that you can actually tell it's pink. Now that's better. Now it looks pink. Okay, so just changing the value or the hue or the color, the shade, a little bit goes a long, long way. Okay, now you can really see a line of where the pink and the red are meeting. So this is where I want to take my Q-tip and blend that little edge there. And actually, if you don't mind using your fingers, that actually seems to work a little bit better. But let's just roll this on here. Okay, so as the paint is starting to dry a little bit, okay, I'm going to clean the excess paint off of this brush, and I'm just going to kind of brush this in. And again, my goal here is to not have this line where one color ends and the other one begins. I want them to blend nicely. Okay, so I kind of redid the top, took the excess paint off my brush, and now I'm just working a little bit on these edges here. So I have a nice blend. Look, look, look. Is that not cool? Okay, so it looks like It's just blending one color right into the next. That's what we're talking about. That's what we want. Okay, so I'm just going to work on that teensy bit more because I'm so happy at myself. I'm my own best fan. Someone's got to do it, right? Okay, so now I'm going to put this in the brush in the water and clean off the excess paint. And even though I didn't do a really good job cleaning it, I did take off the excess paint. And as I look at the picture, the purple is the next color on here. Okay, and they're not so straight here. They're kind of coming and swirling and doing their thing. Okay, so you can swirl, you can do your thing too. You're able to see this, okay? Let's come up just a little bit more, just a little bit. Okay, and this purple, I was afraid that it was going to be too dark, but actually it's not. It looks kind of cool. Okay, so I'm going to bring my purple around here, and I'm going all the way around the stone. As a matter of fact, come up this side. Okay, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing, right? I'm going to blend these edges. So now I have red, pink, purple, and I'm going to use a different Q-tip for the purple, okay? Because I want to kind of keep, oh my goodness, look, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, liking it, liking it. Okay, so I'm going to use this, okay? So again, let's do a little bit more on putting a little bit more on this little side over here. And for the most part, okay, there's not a whole lot of paint on my brush. So again, that's, it's a good reason to not put too much paint on your palette. Okay. So, and I'm going to go back with a little bit of pink in here and maybe a little bit of white in here. Okay, so you can see what I am doing. Okay, it's kind of cool. Wait on me. What else is new? Okay, let's move this dish this way. Okay, so the only problem with not keeping clean is that I end up getting it all over the stone here. It's okay, I'm used to myself. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit more of this pink. Just like I said, I'm kind of blending the boundaries here where one side meets the other, and it's nice and smooth here. Okay, there we go. All right, so look how cool that looks. Now maybe I'd like a little bit more pink in there. So I'm gonna go back a little bit, put a little bit more pink up here. Okay. So, now's the time to do all this good stuff. And remember that, we're going to have a little angel in front. So um, it's going to look awesome no matter what. Okay, there. That is too cool. Okay, so the next color is orange. Then we're going to go to yellow. So I have a lot of purple on my brush. So this time I'm actually going to clean my brush off a little bit better. Okay, I'll put that rock there so you can see it. And while I'm cleaning, I'm going to multitask, clean my brush with one hand and drink my cocoa with the other. Mm-mm. Okay, cleaning the brush relatively well. Okay, and now I want to go into the orange. Okay, so, and I'm putting relatively thin coats on here, so this is actually touchable. See, see, Okay, so let's go to the orange. Nice, nice. Okay, here's my orange. Going over my purple a little bit. All right. And I'm going to turn this around, get my orange down here and around this other side. Okay. I think that I'm not moving too quickly, I think. But if I am, you can stop the recording and just kind of catch up. Okay, so this is, I'm going to take some of the yellow and add some yellow in here just to kind of brighten up this orange a little bit. I'd like it a little bit brighter. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to lighten that baby up. Plus, the yellow is going to go underneath the orange. So we're going to progress from one color to the next very easily. Okay, and I'm putting some of the yellow right over the orange. So I'm getting a nice effect here. So let me try doing this. Okay. So here's my orange. I'm going to put a little bit of white on that purple spot. Okay, and now again, a different Q-tip. Okay, I want to merge the orange with the purple. Okay, and I also want to merge the yellow with the orange. Okay, so I want to not have a sharp line there. Okay, that looks awesome actually. All right, let's put this down, and I keep putting my hands in the paint. All right, so now let me pick up the dry part, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more yellow on here. Yellow. Okay, cool. Okay, yellow. And again, we want the edges to merge a little bit. So if they do not, take your Q-tip, take your yellow Q-tip, and just kind of dab where the different colors meet. Okay, voila, voila. All right, so we have this going on. And now, as I told you before, after we get to the yellow, the colors kind of start all over again. So I'm going to rinse my brush a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the red. Okay, and start the red all over again. Okay, and then the pink. All right, and probably I'm going to stop there because my rock is pretty covered now. Okay, so with the paint that's on here, I'm going to use the Q-tip that I used for the red, okay, to go ahead and dab the red so it blends in, and with the pink. Now, again, with the pink, I would like it teensy bit lighter, so I just stuck my finger in the white and just kind of dabbed on there and then wiping off on my clothes. Right? And I'm putting that on the pink, okay? So I end up with some pink. So this is what my rock looks like, okay? So that's, I actually got some purple where I didn't want it. So I put a little white dab there, hoping that when it dries, I can cover over it, okay? So now the trick is to let it dry, okay? So we're gonna take about 5 minutes probably. And as I say, you can use a hair dryer to do this. You can put it under a fan, right? So there's a lot of ways to dry this out. Uh, so give us a, so take about 5 minutes and just, so you want to just put this under the fan, hair dryer, just, you want it to be dry to the touch, okay? So after it's dry to the touch, we're going to give ourselves some guidelines and kind of put her on, give some guidelines like circles and things to go on the rock. Now, typically, I would just use a regular drawing pencil. If I do that, all right, you will not see it. So you use a pencil. I am going to use some white paint, okay? And I'll show you, I'm going to, uh, if this is the middle of the rock, just above middle, I am going to put this kind of circle here, okay? That, right? And that's going to be her hat there. Okay, so you do it with pencil, but I want to make sure that you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so in this little circle, in this big circle, I'm going to put a smaller circle, and this is where her face is going to be. If yours does not come out perfect, who cares? Do not worry about it, baby. Okay, and then I want to put some arms, shoulders, and arms in. So I'm kind of doing this because I'm looking here actually as I'm doing that. I want to get the shapes in, and then coming out the bottom here is her the bottom of her jacket. Okay, so like this and like this. Okay, and I'm going to even, these are going to be her arms, and she has like muffs on. So that's where those are going. Now we need to put her wings on because she is an angel. So we're going to put the wings on like this. Okay, and like this, I think. Okay, so there's one wing. Right, let's put the other one on. Okay, and again, do this in pencil. You'll have, in this way, if you feel like you've made a mistake, you can go ahead and erase it. Okay, if you are erasing, don't scrub too hard on your stone. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this out just a little bit more here. Okay, and there's an opening in her jacket right here, right? And now we need the bottom of the wings, okay, which is going to come down like this. Okay, she almost looks like a little butterfly. Okay, these are these are her wings. All right, so again, you can do this in paint if you want to. You'll probably be more comfortable doing it with pencil, but it's up to you. Whatever you're comfortable with is a-okay. Okay, so her arms are gonna come out of these sleeves here. So I'm not gonna do too much there for right now. Okay, but there we have her. All right. So, and I did that with my small detail brush, and you can do it with your pencil. All right. So I'm going to clean off that brush, and I'm going to go back to the other brush that I was using because I want to put her wings in. Okay. Now, before I go ahead and do that, I'm going to put some blue on my palette because her jacket is actually blue. But if you look in her wings, there's a little bit of blue going on in those wings. Give them a little bit of texture and a feathery look. Okay, So let's go ahead and do that. We can do it. We can do it. So I am going to put a little bit of blue on my palette. Okay, so a little bit of blue, maybe a little bit more than that. I use these paints a lot and it shows, which is a-okay. Ah, okay. So sometimes they make these little unceremonious noises, but that's okay. I'm actually going to put a teensy bit of black out to me as well. Um, it dries, it gets these little dry, the paint dries on the, oh, nice and thick here. Okay. All right. So the first thing I believe I'm going to do is make sure this black is dried off my hands. Okay. I'm going to make sure that this brush is actually clean. And if you rub it on a paper towel and the no color comes out, then yes, indeedy, you have cleaned your brush. Okay. So I am going to do the wings. So I'm going to dip in my white, right? I'm going to go ahead and do the wings here. Okay. All right, so I'm starting from the outside edge and just coming in. All right, there's a wing, right? I'm gonna do same thing to the other side. All right, I want them to kind of look feathery, so let's do that. Okay, so here's my two wings. Now I'm going to just take just the tiniest tip of my brush into the blue, and I'm just going to mix a little of it right into this white. Okay, can you see? Can you see what's going on there? So again, you're just getting the tiniest bit of texture going on here. Makes us look like we have wing texture. Yes. Okay. All right. Now the bottom wings, same thing. Okay. Dip the brush that you use to put the paint on. And we're actually going to, let me see if I can help you to see it better. I'm going to brush down. And we're going to really make these wings look a little bit more wispy. Okay. I do believe I am trying not to get paint on the computer, but you know, okay, so this, see if I can turn around here. Okay, can you see? Okay, so I'm brushing down here, and I want these to be kind of wispy looking here. Okay, so I don't want them to be as nice and kind of straight as the other ones. I'm going to pick up a little bit more blue on the edge of my brush and actually, especially where they meet, right here, where one meets the other, I'm going to put the blue under there. So it really, really, you can tell the difference between one and the other. Okay, so I'm really making the edges a little bit rougher. Okay, and actually, you know what? I don't see why we can't do it to the top one too. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. Okay, I like it. Okay, so I have feathery wings here. So I'm going to go ahead and do feathery wings on the other side. Okay, so I'm using the edge of my brush here and making feathery wings. Okay, so we do want to go up against her jacket here, but making feathery. I like it. Ta-da! Feathery wings. Okay, dipping the corner of my brush, just the tiniest bit of blue. And again, where the wings are kind of meeting each other. Okay, that's where I'm putting that blue right here. Okay, so you can tell where one wing starts and the other one ends. Okay, so there is no steadfast rule here. You know, as long as you like it, my darlings. Look at her wings. Yay. Cool, cool, cool beans. Okay, when you're not using your brushes, you don't want the paint to dry in them. Okay, so let them sit in your water dish. You can even kind of get some of the paint off while you're at it, and then place that aside. Okay, so now with um, with a smaller brush, it can be your detail brush. You can use your detail brush. Okay, the smallest like little detail brush that you have, or one that's a tiny bit bigger, that would be okay as well. All right, so what I am going to do now is I'm going to do the fur around her hat, like right here. Now, if you look really close, you can see like a blue halo-y type thing going around the edge. And that is so you can tell where the hat starts and the wings start. So if there was no blue or little boundary there, they would just look like, her hat would just look like part of the wings. Okay, so let's do that part first. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blue, I'm going to put a little over here, and then I'm going to take a little bit of my white and mix it in with my blue. Okay, so I want a relatively blue here. It's light, it's a baby blue. Okay, I'm still getting white paint on my hands. No problem, I can handle it. Okay, so here is my little angel girl. And again, right around this hat, I'm actually going to dab. Okay, I'm going to dab a little bit of blue right around this hat, this hood. Okay, see it? See what's going on there? Okay, so I am going to do that all the way down. Dab, dab, dab. I'm going to do this side. Gonna dab, dab, dab it. Okay, and I'm not gonna go all the way across. All right, so this is what I have. Okay, I'm gonna dip into the darker blue, the blue that I have not mixed. This is the blue that I mixed. This is the blue that I have not mixed. So I'm going into the darker blue, and I am going to just get a little bit of the dark blue around here. And I truly am just very lightly dabbing here. Okay. And I just want to give it a little bit more contrast. One of the things that I say to students is if you look at any picture and you're not too sure, you say, gee, there's something up with this picture. I'm not sure I like it. Blah, blah, blah. It's the first words that should come to you is contrast. Okay, so I'm actually doing her jacket. All right, I'm taking the dark blue, right, and I'm actually doing under the hood here. Okay, under the hood, and doing her jacket. Okay, see her hands are going to be there, so I'm going to be careful about where I'm going here. Okay. Okay, right, like this. All right, I'm gonna add a teensy bit of white to that, so it's not quite so dark. Lighten it up a little. There we go. And now you can really tell the difference between the jacket, the wings. You can see where everything is going. Okay. Okay, let's do a little bit more under here. Okay, so she has this jacket and hood on. Okay, so we're getting this idea in here. All right, so under under where her arms are and on the side of this, we're going to take a little bit of the blue and put it on our plate. And I'm actually going to take a dab of the black. Okay. And if you look really close here, you're going to see under the muffs of the arm and on the side of the of her jacket, there is a darker blue there. So I have blue with some black mixed into it right here. I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it because I really want it to be a dark blue rather than a black color. Okay, so I'm going to put that under here and under here like this. Okay, and I'm actually going to put it along the edge as well, along the edge of her coat. Okay. Okay, so that's what I have. Right, I'm going to blend this in a little bit with my white. Okay, so it's a little bit more of a natural look here. Okay, so let's just get those shadows a little bit more natural in there. Okay, go a little darker over here. Okay, and again, there is so not a wrong way to do this. Okay, so let me show you what I have here. Okay, okay, so in her jacket, where the opening is in the front, all right, we're going to take a little bit of white, mix it in with our blue again, so we get that kind of light blue color once again, which I'm using this one, and I'm going to, right underneath her hands here, I'm gonna put it in, put in that opening in her jacket. Okay, take a little bit of the darker blue for the middle. Okay, and now, see, cool, cool beans. Okay, and give this a little bit more of a curve to it. A little bit more. Oh, trying to keep this computer clean is just not going to work. All right, so far I've painted the wire. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so again, blue and black for the really kind of shadow areas here. There we go, there we go. Really wanted to script this out a little bit more here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. She looks a little risque right now, but we are going to fix that because I am going to clean all of the blue off of my brush, and we're going to put in her the cuffs or the furry cuffs of her jacket and her hat. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just dipping into the white that I have here. All right, and I'm just going to dab. I'm just going to dab her hat. Okay, so it looks furry. And I know she needs hair as well, so we'll get that in too. But for right now, let's give her her furry hood. Okay, there's her furry looking hood. Right, and you just want that outline of that little blue area around there to kind of show. All right, I'm also going to do here. Okay, and again, I'm dabbing because I want to look fluffy. We want fluff, fluffy. Okay. All right, so now she's not looking so risque. Get her under control here. All right, so now we need some brown for that part. Let me. All right, so brown. I do not have brown out here. Let's put some brown out on your palette. And again, I'm using very little paint here, actually. Oh, look it's brand new. Yay! At least we know we're going to have enough. I always, like I said, I use, well, that's like way too much. But the container was so full that it just burst out. So this, I cleaned my brush off a little bit. And now I want to actually do her flesh first, and then I'm going to put the hair around the flesh. All right. So flesh is going to be white, and maybe June. We want a little bit of new white because what I have here has lots of everything else in it. All right. So let's do that. Okay. This one's a little bit. Okay, so when you use your paints, make sure you kind of cap them well because you don't want them drying out in their containers. Okay, so for flesh tones, right, flesh tones, I'm going to take my white, right, flesh is mostly a white color. Okay, I'm going to dip into my red and I'm going to come out with a pink. Then I'm going to dab in my brown and voila. Okay, maybe a little bit of this orange, maybe. Ah, nice. Okay, so now I have a nice flesh tone right here. All right, so what I want to do with that is put her face in. And now I want the face to go in before the hair, okay, because some of the hair is definitely over her face, okay, like her bangs and whatnot. Okay, so I put her face in. All right, now you can still see some of the colors underneath, but that's where her hair is going to go. All right, I'm going to use the flesh tone for her arms as well. Okay, so her arms are doing this, right, and this. Okay, so I just made this like little V shape here and here. All right, so I am now going to go back to the smallest detail brush that I have. Okay, and I am going to not do too much. This looks pretty good. Okay, so I want to just perfect a little bit here. All right, so we can see where her arms are. All right, see where her arms are? And you can also see like where her arms are coming out of her jacket. There's a little bit of dark in there. So what we're looking for here is contrast. And if you look really, really closely, it's that same dark bluish, blackish color that we were using. So I'm going to take it again and the blue, and I'm going to add the black to it, and I'm going to get this really dark, dark, dark blue, bluish black color. Okay. And I'm going to put it right around the base of her arms, and I'll show it to you soon as I get it on there. Okay, let's see here. Let's do this one. Okay, can you see that? Right there, right? So you're going to use, a fine brush. If you don't have a really fine brush, you can make one. I took a brush and just cut off most of the hairs. So it's just a few hairs left on it. Okay. And then I came up with a very fine brush. Okay. So you can see where her arms are coming out of. There's a little bit of a shadowed area there. Okay. So I can also, at this point, go ahead and kind of um, make the fluffy part even a little bit more fluffy. Okay, so I am actually just dabbing here, just dabbing away. Okay, now she looks better. Okay, so I'm rinsing off my detail brush, and I'm actually going to put her eyes on. Okay, now there's not a whole bunch of eye here. Okay, so just her eyes are closed and she has a little bit of an eyebrow showing. Okay, so again, detail brush in brown. Detail brush in brown, and we're just going to I'm going to put her eyebrows on first, just very lightly. Eyebrows. Okay, can you see those little tiny eyebrows? Okay, so one is a teensy bit darker than the other, so I'm going to reapply the paint this eyebrow. Now you can see them both. Yes? Okay, good. Good, good. All right. Okay, so I'm going to now put in her eyelids, which again, just a very small area here. Okay, yeah, her eyes are closed. And you know what? Maybe, maybe we'll open them. Maybe we'll open those eyes. Okay, so what I did is added two little dots there because in this picture her eyes are closed, but I don't know. I think I'd like them open. Okay. So what do you think? Eyes open, eyes closed. And you can play around, my darlings. And if it's easier to keep them closed, keep them closed. Okay. I think, I want a blue-eyed angel, right? So let's add a little. actually just adding a little blue dot to her eyes. Okay, see? Now she's looking at us. Now she's talking. Okay, so now we want to make her hands. All right, now the hands are always one of the most difficult parts to draw. So we're not going to put a great deal of detail in the hands. All right, so just, I know, I wish I could get a little bit closer to you. Let me see if I actually can here. Okay, so I'm actually just going to put a little in here, okay, where this hand is doing this, and then like this, and then this hand is doing that. So her hands are just, she's praying, I think. All right, so don't get caught up in the details here. Just give indication of hands. Okay, that, and actually can do maybe a few little fingers here. So again, just give an indication of hands where she is just kind of praying here. You do not have to put in fingers and all that good stuff. Okay? Okay, so that's her, that's her. I'm actually going to clean off this detail brush because I like to give her a little bit of a rosy cheek, a little bit of rosy cheekers. Okay, so what I'm doing is taking the red and just mixing a little bit with my skin color here. So I'm getting the skin color plus a little bit of pink. Okay. Oh, this white is unbelievable. Okay. Okay. So I am just giving her a little bit of rosy cheeks. Okay. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but she has a little bit of rosy cheeks. And if you wanted to, you definitely could make them redder. Okay, there we go. So I put two little red dots on her cheeks, and then I put my brush in the water, and now I'm just kind of rolling it around there, and the brush maybe is too small, actually. So just roll around in there. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit bigger brush. Just, there we go. I can see rosy cheeks. Cool. Okay, such a little rosy cheek girl. All right, so now we have all that good stuff done. Let's take some of this brown off here, I think. All right, I'm going to just go over some of this brown a little bit here. All right, so this is what we have. This is her. So now we can put in the hair. Okay, so I am going to use the small detail brush, the smallest one where I told you I took all the hairs off. Okay. And I'm going to put in these little wisps around the bangs and stuff. That's what I want to put in, is that fine little detail, okay, where it kind of overlaps her face a little bit. Kind of comes around the side slightly. Okay, so that's what she looks like. All right, so I'm going to get rid of the brush with just a few teeth, few hairs on it, and then I'm going to go to a little bit bigger one, and I'm going to start to dab in her hair. Okay, See, I'm starting to dab in her hair now. And I'm just using the brown. Okay, okay, and going around the side of the head, yeah, so you can see her hair. See her? See, doesn't she look cool? Okay, it's actually kind of coming down here a little bit. Okay, look. Okay, so ours is, there she is, there she is. That is totally, totally cool. So the only thing I am now thinking is maybe see under this part of the puffy sleeve, there's a little bit of darker blue there. And even though we put it in, I kind of covered mine up. So I'm gonna put it back in a little bit. Plus, I'd like to give her hat a little bit more of a poof to it. So taking that brush, okay, not the one with no hairs on it. Right? And I'm going to, once again, I'm going to use that really dark blue, bluish blackish color that I made. And I'm going to get some of it under here. Okay, so we can have, again, a little bit more of, see, under her puffy sleeves. Okay, so I did put some of the dark blue there. I just kind of dabbed it on. And now I'm just going to kind of spread it a little bit under here. Okay, just so we get a little bit more shadow under here. There we go. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, now we're looking good, looking good. Okay, so that's a little bit better here. Okay. So I am actually going to do this a little bit here, like this. And I think I may be going to put even a little bit like around the shoulders, just because I think we need a little there. Okay, so that actually looks pretty good. Let's do a little bit more. Do it until it looks good. There we go. Okay, okay, so there she is. All right, so I'm thinking that her jacket actually looks pretty good. All right, her headpiece, I think could be more furry. All right, so I'm going to use this dark blue, and I'm going to extend what I have here out even more so that I can dab more white on there. Okay, so I extended that because I want that to kind of show in the background. And let's let it dry for a second. Okay, let that dry up a little bit. Tell you, she's really kind of, she's really okay. So now, really want to poof her hat a little bit more. So it's also good to see that you can actually change things around a little bit. You can open her eyes, close her eyes. You can make the hat poofier. You can make it smaller. You, my darlings, are the creator. So I thought I wanted her hat a little bit more poofy. So I wanted to add more white, yet I know that we need to have a little bit of a dark background around her head so that we can see the difference between that and her wings. Okay, that could be better. Yay! Okay, bring it here and here. Look how cute she is. A cutie patootie. Okay, right. So I can play with the wings a little bit more if I want to. But she actually looking pretty good here. So maybe I don't want to do that. Okay, so this is her. Okay, I'm gonna call her done, I think. Right? So after she is dry enough, you could actually, I'm gonna get closer so you can see her wings. Here she is. And again, she's our angel in your pocket rock. Okay, and you can make her as big or as small as you want to. Um, and like I said, energize her with good thoughts and all kinds of cool things going on. Okay, so what I was going to say is after she's dry, if you have something like Mod Podge or any kind of spray finishy type thing, feel free to go ahead and do that. And if you don't have anything lacquery like that, like a lac that could give it a little bit of shine, basically you don't have to put anything on it at all. Actually, it's fine the way that she is. But if you want to give her a little bit of shine, you could even spray with hairspray, old-fashioned hairspray, like the kind you get at the dollar store, the really cheap kind that really gives it a little bit of a zing, a little bit of a shine to it. Okay, so here she is. Here she is once again. Okay, and here is our source. This is what we were kind of following along. Okay, she is right. So absolutely have a good time doing her. She was so much fun to do. I really enjoyed doing her. Remember, Drake Council on Aging. All right. And again, they are giving out art packs. So by all means, call them, ask them when they're giving out the art packs, ask if you can have one. If you are so inclined to give a donation, it's DCOA, Drake Council on Aging, 951 Mammoth Road, Drake, Mass. And I want to say 01826. But look it up, look it up. Don't take my word. Don't take my word for it. Okay. And thank you, Bethany. Thank you, Ron at DATV and Tara at BATV and everyone else who shares these fun tutorials with you. And feel free to give them to your family and friends. Like I said, I get all kinds of remarks and questions, and people are doing them with their friends, they're doing them with family members. Go ahead, have a good time. All right. You can get in touch with me, and people actually do call me and they say, "Now, how did you're supposed to make that red, that purple again? Oh, red and blue. Okay. So 978-807-7608 is my cell phone number. If I do not answer you, text me or leave me a message and I will get back to you. Okay? Any questions? Let me know. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye. I'm going to sign us off here, and we'll see you next time when we'll be doing more fun stuff, including a paint pour, all right, which is something that a lot of people are interested in doing. All right, until then, be legendary, my friends.